122. 122 and an 8? 122 and an 8. Terrific. Where the heck is 122 and an 8?
You're standing on it, dude. Just slip it down here. Give me that.
Hey, this is a 10. The tab's 13.
You're 2 minutes late, dude.
Ah, come on. I couldn't find a place.
Wise man say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
I'm going to give you a little bit more music, guys. Give me just a second. Mmm. Oh, goodness. There are things to say. I must say, if there's one thing that I've learned, is that the most envious, angry people that are out there are the people that are not successful. I just saw a thing where someone I know was catching some shit from somebody else, from another creator. I use that term very loosely. And man alive. No, we're not talking about any major names. So, let me give you guys some context of what's going on. So, somebody that I know shared a DM group full of smaller creators. Hey Mouse, what's going on, dude? Showed me some DMs from this group. And when it comes to this person that I know, they got very mad that they had made a statement about not wanting to go onto a bunch of YouTube channels to promote their next comic book when those particular channels don't really have any audience. Which, to be honest, is by no means, at least in my opinion, a how do I put this? That's not a negative way of looking at it, because it's like, how do I want to spend my time? Do I want to spend my time going to places where I have more of a chance of selling the book or less of a chance of selling the book? And that's what you have to weigh. Pretty simple stuff. People kind of freaked out on this friend of mine over that particular statement, and then started throwing around a little bit of nonsense. Here's something that needs mentioning. I want to point out something that needs to be stated about the books that have, or the franchises rather, that will be on GRINDSTONE. And the history of success that they've had. So I'm going to pull them all up. We're going to have a look at this, because I feel that there is a statement to be made. This is all stuff that's under GRINDSTONE. And I'm going to go in order of when they went onto the crowdfunding platform. I think what Mata means is my friend, quote unquote, didn't say anything wrong. Guys, don't jump down Mata's throat. I think he's agreeing with you. But we're gonna go through a bit of history, shall we? So, so it all started with Englewood #1. Raised $13,000. Not a whole lot, but it was successful. 543 backers. Successful campaign, to say the least. And I undersold this, too. This was 5 years ago, which is hard to believe. But I very much underpriced this. Like, digital copy for $5 for a 36-page comic. That was a little. I shot it a little bit under. Should have been a little bit more. But Englewood Book 1. Successful campaign. 3 Nights, 4 Days, Part 1. $25,000. Successful campaign. So that's 2. Peregrine Wings of the Falcon. Another Grindstone property. Another one that's going to be published by us in the future. Hugely successful. $53,000 brought in. Over 1,000 backers. So that's 4. Second Chance campaign for Englewood. It's also successful. Not a lot of backers, but it made more than what I asked for. It's 5. Englewood Book 2. Another successful campaign, over $16,000. That's 6. 3 Nights, 4 Days, Part 2. Still in production. Needs to re-enter production soon. Which, hopefully by the end of this week, I'll actually have more funding coming in for this. That's 7. American Monsters, the genesis of Project Lazarus. Didn't ask for a lot on this one. Wasn't a big campaign, but it did make profit. If it hadn't all been stolen. But, that's 8. Cyberpop Control Theory. 9. This one's still ongoing. And then Black Rhapsody Book 1. Black Rhapsody Book 1 is another one. Made over $10,000. We saw that as we closed that out last week. That's 10. Of the only franchise we were not able to get off the ground was Human Shield. But we're going to try that again sometime in the future. By the way, is there anybody in here who has not signed up for the Black Rhapsody mailing list yet? For Book 2? Because if you're not, we need to fix that, like, right now. It costs $0 to sign up for the mailing list. And by signing up for the mailing list, you're obviously going to get, know when the book comes out. But on top of that, there's also hidden goodies that you can get as well. So, there's the link for it in the chat right now. Please do sign up if you have not already. Again, signing up costs you $0. I'm going to pin that for the rest of the stream. Let me show it off a little bit. Black Rhapsody Book 2. Get access to a special print and virgin covers of the book. So, all-star team. Writer Serena Sanchez, joined by editor Micah Curtis. Hey, that guy sounds familiar. Artist Alti Fermancia from Unstoppable Wasp, and colorist Yenny Loud from Deadpool, to bring this musical horror story to life. Please pick a different name for Human Shield. RPX, I disagree with you 100%. I think Human Shield is a very good name for a superhero. 100% disagree with you. So that will not be happening. It's not my IP anyway. Anyway. Is this real life? Is this just fantasy? Our heroine, Aletha, stumbles into a new paradise. However, she isn't prepared for what comes next. Her actions in this first book have opened the possibility for her life to become a living hell. I'm just going to let the art speak for itself. The fact of the matter is that this book has top-level artists on it, a top-level editor, if I do say so myself, and when it comes right down to it, The person who was chewing out my my friend was basically not very happy about his own lack of success. And said that this particular individual has nothing to offer larger creators. To which, to that individual, I say the following. My friend has a lot to offer me. And I'm a much larger creator than you, kid. And to my friend in general, you can say that I told them that. Because the difference between myself and the people around me is that we're willing to work instead of whine like a bitch. Which that's generally my biggest problem whenever it comes to a lot of other indie creators. Whine, whine, whine. You want a little cheese with that? Jesus Christ. Always complaining about other people, not doing anything themselves. It's the most pathetic shit. Rational Ginger puts it well. Sounds like ankle biters trying to get attention. That's basically what it is. All these folks that act like this are ankle biters. They're trying to latch onto somebody else's successes instead of making their own. Which is generally my problem with a lot of people on the internet. How many of you guys are familiar with the term crabs in a bucket? Has anyone heard that term before? I'm hoping so, because I'm about to explain it regardless. The basic idea is that if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket with one another, you can leave the bucket alone, because the crabs are never going to get out. Instead, what's going to happen is the crabs, whenever another crab tries to escape, the other crabs will drag that one trying to escape back into the group. It's a good allegory for choosing your friends wisely. There's a nice bit in one of the best episodes of the Boondocks about it. Yeah, Boondocks references it in a couple other shows. I remember references it as well. But the general idea is that you don't want to be around people that just drag you down and keep you stuck in the mud with them. You want people that boost you up instead. That consistently try to make you better. And the unfortunate thing that I found when I was part of indie communities is that people didn't want me to get better. People wanted me to stay in a very specific spot and make a very certain amount of money, all the time. And I didn't want that. I wanted more. So I endeavored to make more. I also endeavored to make giant robots. Look at the size of this fucking thing. This is the size of its own mobile suit. This by itself, if it had weaponry, could be a mobile armor. Yeah, crab bucket mentality. And it is, to me, it is a pathetic thing to see. Because effectively what you have done is you have limited yourself to only having a very specific thing in life. When you could endeavor for more. You know? Alright, so, where last we left our robot, we needed to start working on the waste unit, which has a lot of parts to it. So, let me try to find, out of my little bag here, where the inner frame stuff is. I say inner frame like there's a lot of it. You can see my big old thigh. We got fuel tank, more hip armor, Okay. Now we're finding the interior shit. Because this is the stuff I want to start with. Now, one thing I have to warn you guys about, I don't know how long I'm going to be live today. Because, earlier, like, about a half hour ago, I was feeling very lightheaded. And I think it was just dehydration, because I've been drinking water, and I'm starting to make me feel better. But, if it happens again, I am going to go lay down. Don't know what caused it. Been having a lot of weather changes lately. That might be the culprit. Gosh, there's a lot of this. A lot of parts for such a basic mobile suit, or for what's effectively not a master grade. Oh, goodness. One of these things is stuck in here. Fuck. Tweezers. Oh, goodness. Yeah, one thing I've been trying to figure out is I'm wanting to make diet adjustments. Whoa! Brain! $10. Holy shit. It says I gotta replace a PS4 controller. One of the sticks feels grindy. Took it apart to fix it. Helped a little bit, but we'll use it for PS1 and even for now. Thank goodness Sony still makes PS4 controllers. That is true. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. My I'm having the same problem on my PS4 controller that I had on my my PC controller that the one I had to replace recently, is where like it won't run if you're holding just straight up like this. If you turn it a little bit on the axis a little bit, your character will run, but it just will not. That dead zone is just fucked, basically. So I have to replace it before October, which is next month. So I can play through Bloodborne for the first time. 'Cause I have never played all the way through it. Granted, depending on how things go by the end of the week. I am rubbing off on you. Oh no. It's like I've said, though. It's always the people that don't make a lot of money, that don't really have any success whatsoever. They don't do anything of note, that always get pissed at the people that do. It's incredibly sad to me. Because at the end of the day, you have every opportunity to make something of yourself. Actually, doing it like this is probably not the best idea. Probably better to do these separate. Come loose. There we go. Can try to run you through Bloodborne. There's no level cap for co-op. No, it's okay. I want to do it solo. Thank you for the offer, but I want to definitely do it solo. I want to drink it in as best I can. Bones, you're not wrong, dude. It is a massive kit. Absolutely massive. I am actually thinking about getting a third bookshelf for my bedroom to have it instead. The original plan was to put this in my living room, but I don't think that's going to work out now. This did not get properly filed down. I need to do that real quick. How's the painting going? I mean, it's pretty good so far. Right now I've got to... Ouch. Got to file down a couple of nubs that I missed. This is actually a stability stand that the kit comes with because it's so damn heavy. And I do plan on painting it just because. But I'm also going to file this down. Smooth it out. At least as best I can. But yeah, Serena kind of spoiled it in the chat. I was talking about her. Because the fact is that that girl has endured so much bullshit during the course of the creation of her first comic. But she still did incredibly well. And I have no doubt that she's going to do incredibly well again. And I'm going to do everything that I can to promote her work and make sure that she remains a success. And the next book of hers is going to come to people's houses a lot faster. But it's one of those things where it's part of the reason that I've admittedly checked out of the Comicsgate movement and just focus on Grindstone. Is, man, there's a lot of people in that movement that act like that dude. Just constant ankle biting. I'm not even talking about like big names in the movement. I'm just talking about like Joe Average. Oh no, I think I fucked this one. It's not good. Whoa! Thank you for the $5, Ginger. Give me 1 second to read that. I'm trying to unfuck one of my hooks. It's not happening, so I'm going to mess with it later. It says here, speaking of controllers, I still use my Halo 3 Xbox 360 controller on my PC. Even on modern games. 360 might have had issues, but the controllers last. That is true. Even when my, the last Xbox 360 I bought, even when that failed on me, my controllers still worked really well. Oh, yeah, Bones, that sucks, man. You know, I'm going to put away these bigger pieces that I'm not painting yet. No point in dealing with them. I guess that's one of the benefits of living in Freedom Land, is you can get your hands on a lot more stuff for a lot cheaper. No! Do not fall into the void. Oh, goodness. But anyway, as I was saying, that is sort of the reason why I kind of exited communities like that. When you get to a point where you have so many people constantly complaining about the people that make more money, don't be around those people. Because effectively they're commies. But they're always just gonna drag you down. You should always be around people who want to uplift you. Okay. How do I want to do this? I think what I'm going to do... I have to use the old tweezer method. Tend to avoid larger hobby communities to get captured by idiots eventually. Yeah, that does tend to happen. My thing is that if you want to be involved in any community, just always be cognizant of the attitudes of the people in it. If the attitudes of the people in it are people that constantly act like they're just going to be stuck in a rut for the rest of their existence, those communities are not worth being around. They're really not. Because they have effectively said to themselves that they're not going anywhere. You know? And people like that are fucking miserable. And all they look to do is continue to spread misery. I like being around people that like to actually like do shit, you know. That's what always makes me happy. I find that I sleep a lot better whenever I've accomplished something with my day, you know. Okay. Let's get to priming. And hopefully you guys don't mind if I keep yapping about the subject. Because I do have more thoughts on things. So my opinion on Gundam Sentinel, I have never read it, but I love some of the designs. It is something that I will have to read for whenever we get to the first Neo-Zeon War. Because it happens in between Zeta and Double Zeta, from what I understand. Because the new Decides are an offshoot of the Titans. Okay, we got a good spray. Nice. Let's get rocking. But yeah, Sentinel will definitely be something that I give a full review of. The next thing on my list is Shirt Dude is going to be working on the Terminator Zero review. And then on top of that, we are going to be discussing the end of Wing. And then, like I did with 1 Year War, I'll just end up putting out like a full saga video after that's done. Need a PDF of the book, just hit me up on Discord. I think I'll be alright. I could probably find it, but thank you for the offer. Yeah, I'm curious about it because I think that it's like it's probably mostly known for the mobile suit designs that are in it, because that was, if I remember right, that was Kotoki's big break, was Sentinel. And after that, well, now he's like super well known by anybody who knows mecha creation circles, you know? But anyway, back to the yapping. I'd been thinking about stuff on my end. And I think the one thing that makes a difference between people that find success and the people that don't is the ability to admit that you made a mistake or something didn't turn out that well, and then you make adjustments. For example, one thing that with Grindstone that we realized as a business that there was a struggle with was fulfillment. That had been the one thing that had plagued all of us since the start. So the question was, how do we solve this problem? You know? And the solution was simple. We needed to have the logistics planned out. Generally speaking, like that would always be the biggest problem, is that, and it hit us with Englewood, with Peregrine, and all this other stuff, is that we didn't really have our logistics figured out. We didn't know what was going where, and when it was going there. And a big part of that was a lack of communication. So we made the adjustments, and effectively with Grindstone, it's one person's job. It's Xavier's job. Xavier is our logistics guy. He's the one who's going to handle the fulfillment of comic books. I work with him to make sure that the materials for shipping are getting bought, and he has the proper amount of supplies to ship comic books. And then but then from there, Xavier will have the materials that he needs to weigh out everything and get the postage set up properly and then ship it out. Simple and easy. And then the stuff that we're not shipping out ourselves, we talk to contractors that are going to be doing that, and then make proper arrangements. For example, when it comes to shipping things, I had to go out of my way to talk to our printer to discuss with them, hey, I noticed that we're going to be ordering a lot of product from you in the future, and we're going to be doing it in bulk. Is there any possibility that we could get things shipped together to save us on shipping costs? And they said, sure. More than happy to do it. I just had to let them know. They just said, give us the order numbers when you order, and instead of putting them in a bunch of smaller boxes, we will put them in one big box to save on shipping for you guys, since you've been such loyal customers for so long. Bing, bang, boom. Easy as pie. All of that was done to adapt from a mistake. That's it. That's all that had to be done. Another thing that I am admittedly not the best on is marketing. So I brought someone in to be a part of the company that has a good understanding of marketing, so on and so forth. I have my editor-in-chief, and he has an editor underneath him that keep an eye on the development of all the scripts that are being done and provide feedback to the creators. So that way, they've got another set of eyes on it that might be able to catch something that the original editor of that particular piece might have missed. Or just to provide feedback on the overall feel of the book and things of that nature. By doing that, effectively, we have found our biggest issues, found solutions for them, and the rest is just execution. And to be honest with you, the planning stages, at least in my opinion, are the hardest part. It's the same thing with my YouTube channel. You know, the reason that my YouTube channel is about to hit, where are we at? Like 24K subscribers? Something like that. 24K, I think, is what it is. So, you know, we're about to hit that. And over the course of the last year that I think Shirt Dude and I have been working together, we took the channel from basically being dead to increasing the subscriber count by another 7,000. And there's still more plans to grow it. And a lot of it was, I identified an early problem. And the problem was that I really wasn't passionate about what I was talking about at the time. Because I was just doing these random-ass culture war videos that really didn't serve much of a purpose, and a lot of them, when I went back and watched them, I kind of realized, it's like, man, my heart is just not in this. I couldn't bring myself to care about it. So, ultimately, I got together with Shirt Dude as an editor. Paid him for his services. Which recently I was actually able to bump his pay up by a little bit. And I hope to continue to bump it up as time goes on. But as it stands, there is improvement because I noticed that there was a problem and I fixed it. And now the content is leagues better. And we've had a lot of fun with it, I'd like to think. I certainly think that my videos are a lot more fun to watch now than they used to be. God. We've got On the Grind going. We still need to build that channel up. But there are plans to do that as well. And there are ways. The important thing is to never give up. There's a lot of people, again, I said this before, I'm going to say it again, a lot of people out there that are more than happy to give up, more than happy to wallow in obscurity rather than try to make the most that they can out of themselves. And that, to me, is unacceptable. I could never do that. I will freely admit I'm the type of person that loses sleep because I'm thinking of new ways to try and do things and trying to figure out whether or not it'll work. Cyberpop is just the start, guys. So, I try to do my best. And I hope that you guys will take my advice. Never give up on yourselves. Don't worry about changing the world. The people out there that change the world are very rare. Worry about improving what you have. Worry about changing your world. Everything else, whole bunch of nothing. Oh, goodness. Interesting thing about PS4 controllers, the internal battery is easy to replace. Kind of like an old handset phone battery. Interesting. Have a good night, Ginger. But, now, to answer questions from the chat, Mustn't Want It Run Away wants to know my opinions on Getter Robo. So the Getter Robo I have interacted with is not very much. I have not read the manga at all. The only thing I know about the manga is the Fuck Dinosaurs panel, which I think is fucking hilarious. But I am very familiar with Getter Robo Armageddon. Because Getter Robo Armageddon is the shit. I love that series, and I very much plan on doing a video on it at some point. Because one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to royally chew out the developers of Super Robot Wars 30th for actually saying that people get sick of the song Heats. I'm sorry, but those people do not exist. Alright, Panzernaut, have yourself a good night. Good night, buddy. I almost turned southern there for a second. Have a good night. Sorry. Have yourself a good evening. That's one thing I've always loved about kind of hick accents is like there's just letters missing in words for no fucking reason. Oh goodness. But yes, I've seen Get a Robo Armageddon. I also watched Get a Robo Arc. And Get a Robo Arc's anime, the best thing I can say is, well, God bless them, they tried. Because you could tell with Get a Robo Arc that anime, the people behind it had a lot of passion for Get a Robo. But they didn't have a lot of budget. It's sort of like this is a reference to an old Family Guy joke, which is making me feel ancient because this is back when Family Guy was funny. Is they made a $6 million man joke with Peter Griffin where they said, we can rebuild him. We have the technology, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. And then it's just Peter comes like trying to run out to the $6 million man theme. And like one of his legs is a trash can. He's got an arm that's a rake. Like, that's Get a Robo Arc. That's really what it is. Yeah. Get a Robo Arc is a 9 out of 10 series stuck with 3 out of 10 production. Basically. They obviously had a lot of passion for it. They obviously really wanted to make a true to form Getter Robo from the manga show. And they just, man, they got shafted on that budget. You can tell they did what they could, man. And at the end of the day, I think that's all you could really ask of them. But yeah, Getter Robo though is definitely a very, like, from what little I have encountered of it, is a very fun mecha franchise. And I think that's the word you gotta focus on, is fun. It's a lot of fun. The English dub of Armageddon still has one of the hardest lines ever in existence from a protagonist of an anime, where he almost sticks a gun in Sao Tome's face and just says, I don't care about the universe as long as you die with it. Like, god damn. Yes. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a protagonist that truly does not give a fuck. You gotta love it. It's what inspired Gurren Lagann, and I won't hold that against it. If for those who don't know, I am not a Gurren Lagann fan, like at all. Like the, I think I mentioned this in a stream before, but my problem with Gurren was, it starts off, like, stupidly slow. Hey, Gunny, throws in $5. Has been enjoying my day off with a nap. What's going on? I remember Getter Robo-Beat and other mecha anime back in the 80s. Yeah, we're just building robots and yapping, like we usually do on a Tuesday. Good thing you got a nap in, too. I did take one on my day off. For those who don't know, I give myself one day off every week, and it's Monday. Monday, I don't do any work at all. I just focus on rest and trying to enjoy myself with something. But yeah, I mentioned this on a past stream about Gurren Lagann, is it reminds me, like, one of the major things, like, well, actually, I'll put my major gripes. First off, it starts really slow. Hear me out, Bones, hear me out. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it. I'm just giving you the reasons why I don't like it. Here's my reasoning. The first bit is it starts out slow. The second bit that I don't like is that it's always doing something that I do not like when shows make references, when it's a little too reliant on member berries. Specifically, too many it honestly, in my opinion, does too many references to Getter. To the point where I feel like the creator is elbowing me in the ribs and constantly saying, hey, 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 did you notice? Did you see the reference I made? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Yes! Yes, I did. Shut up. I traditionally am not a fan of when shows do that. If Alien Romulus had done it one more time during the course of that movie, I would have fucking hated it. But it didn't. It pulled back finally. But I don't like that either. The final bit can actually be put together with a reference to a to whatchamacallit, to a line from Mallrats. Hey, that's a 14-year-old girl. Those who know, know. Granted, if you've never seen Mallrats, like, go watch it at some point soon. It's a great fucking movie. It's not Kevin Smith's best. That goes to Chasing Amy. But Mallrats is a blast. But by the way, like, if you enjoy it, I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying it's not for me. Because, ultimately, I don't think that Gurren Lagann, like Gundam Seed, is bad. It's just not for me. It just does all the things that I don't like. but I am enough of a fair critic to acknowledge that it is a personal taste thing and not an overall quality thing. But yeah, that whole... There's just that thing, especially with that particular creator, the guy who created Gurren Lagann, and then later went on to do Kill la Kill. Something about, like, that dude, for some reason, has more... The fact he has more than one show with an underage girl in various states of undress is really creepy to me. I'm sorry, there's... I cannot... I just can't turn that off. Like, I am a 38, about to be 39-year-old man in the next few months. Like, 14 years old is like the age of my niece. You know, that doesn't... No. And yes, I understand it's just a cartoon, but when you've got a cartoon with an image of an underage girl that is clearly meant to titillate, it's sus as fuck to me. So, yep. Can't get behind it. But again, those are just my reasons. You know, ultimately, at the end of the day, everybody's got their own tastes. It's the same thing with, like, Dan to Dan. Or Don to Don, or however it's pronounced. I can acknowledge that it is a very good-looking manga. The art is excellent. And it's got a crazy, frenetic pace. You can definitely tell the guy who created it worked under the guy who created Chainsaw Man. You know, it is just absolutely balls to the wall, going 120 miles an hour. It's just the same thing. That is I just can't look at that and just go, that is a 14-year-old girl. Why the fuck do you feel the need to put her in her underwear that often? You know? Now, some will probably say, well, it's a cultural difference. To which my counter to that, just for consideration, is that though I do have a lot of respect for Japanese culture, it ain't perfect. I'm actually of the opinion that the age of consent should be higher than it is. I think it should be like 20, to be honest with you. All right. Give me just a second to look at something. I'm just reading something real quick. Just kind of seeing how excellent of a teacher I am. Hey, Gunny, thank you for the $5. He says, I still enjoyed the many hot-ass cosplay girls who dressed up as the ginger sniper girl. Ryoko will be always my first and favorite anime girl. Well, that's fine, dude. Again, like what you like. I'm just giving you the reasons why I don't. You know. Because keep in mind, during the course of this conversation, I have not said any of these are objectively bad. Simply said that I don't like them. You know? And things that I am personally not comfortable with. It is just something where there is a, I guess you could call it culture shock. The difference between myself and other people, though, is I can identify that it's culture shock. There's a lot of people out there that refuse to identify that. Though I do think that, yeah, Japan kind of needs to re-examine the whole age of consent thing. Jesus. Jesus! Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo, then. Well, she's thousands of years old. You're good, then. Oh, goodness. Hey there, Ray. What's going on, buddy? Thinking. I want to read this real quick. Oh, Serena, I am very proud of you. Oh, fucking tell him. According to God, age of consent is when they are married. This is true. But good Lord encourages us to use our minds. What we understand about mental development is that your brain isn't really fully developed until you started hitting your 20s. And as a general rule of thumb, I do believe that it's a smart idea to discourage younger people from having sex at a young age, because there's more of a chance they're going to make a stupid mistake than if they're older. Because when you're young, you're emotional, you're feelings driven, so on and so forth. 420 throws in another $10. Thank you for being so generous. He says, just to clarify, I never found the ginger sniper girl attractive till they made her grow up. Like you, Mike, it felt pretty weird having an underage girl in pretty much underwear all the time. Yep, it's just, again, it's one of those things where it just ain't right. What are we talking about? We're talking about finding it weird that Japan makes some underage ladies sexualized. The cultural differences and why it, can turn me off of an anime. Why I don't want to watch it at that point. Granted, I will also admit that, well, y'all know how I feel about waifu bait. I was also saying, Serena, that I saw the thing you sent, and yeah, I'm proud. I won't lie. The motherfucker got an earful, and he deserved it. In Japan, I want to say it's around... It depends on the prefecture. Let me Google it, Gunny. Okay. So here's from what the Google says. Japan's age of consent is 16 years old, which was raised from 13 last year. Jesus Christ. And yeah, you have been around me too much. But that might be a blessing. Might be a curse. We'll find out. Now that chubby elf, any? Oh yeah, fat elf. I forgot that existed. Fat elf, also known as the writer's poorly disguised fetish. Then again, that's one of my biggest peeves about modern writing. Could be summed up with an episode of Night Court. I might do an episode about this. Let me show you guys something. I feel like this is a lot of modern writing. You know, I feel like a lot of modern writing is just that. I feel like I need to do an episode of Why Modern Writing Sucks and just title it that. Is the writer's barely disguised fetish. It's sort of like when Al Ewing in The Immortal Hulk had Bruce Banner ranting about how he loves the trans people and stuff like that. It's like, dude, Al, tell me you have autogynephilia without telling me you have autogynephilia. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, homie. You know, why Al Ewing turned Peter Parker into a cuckold. You know, stuff like that. It's like, this is the writer's poorly disguised fetish. That is basically my theory, Toku. I think that there's... Well, one thing I do know, having been around Coomers before, is that there are people with a lesbian fetish. There's too much characterization being done in modern writing where people are more concerned about where the character's penis is going and not enough concern about the actual quality of the story. And that tells me that there's some fetishization going on. And I am not a fan of that. Everybody's got their tastes. Everybody's got the things that they find attractive. And I'm of the opinion that all of that does not necessarily need to be shared with the world all the time. You know? Now, admittedly, I have been open about my preferences whenever it comes to women. Basically, keep the white ones away from me. The Caucasian females are fine. It's the white women that I do not like. And then I clearly have a thing for Asians and redheads. I don't remember who I said this to. It might have been on stream, or I think I might have just said it to Serena one time when we were talking. And they said, I ever find an Asian woman with red hair, it's a fucking wrap. It's over. I'm proposing right there. Please. Like... But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't really need to put it in my writing. You know? I don't think anybody really wants to see about, like, 40 fucking books about an Asian redhead. Or maybe you do, I don't know. I personally don't find it necessary. Whoa! Somebody threw money at me. Hold on one second. Force Gunny, thank you for the $5. Says, DC has turned almost the entire Bat family bi or gay except for Bruce, Jason, and Damian. Yeah, and I don't understand why. It hasn't really done anything for the characters. It hasn't improved their sales. So yeah. Goodness. I'm about to eat some food after this stream. I'm thinking I'm going to make myself a chicken bacon ranch sandwich. With lettuce and tomato. I've been trying to work more vegetables into my diet. And lettuce doesn't do a lot for you. It just kind of... It's a filler. It's a space filler. Adds a little bit of texture. But, tomato is good for you. Yeah, chicken bacon ranch, man. Probably one of my favorite sandwiches ever. And you can do it with grilled chicken or you can do it with breaded chicken. Whichever you prefer. I have some pre-made breaded chicken in my freezer that I'm going to use for these. Normally I would prefer to do grilled chicken because it's healthier for you, but But yeah, this is basically like my biggest problem with modern writing is the writer's barely disguised fetish. It is something that really bothers me about Oh, goodness. All right, give me just a second here. Yeah, tomatoes can be pretty great. I love me a good tomato sauce, too. But the other thing that I realized I've been doing a little bit too much of lately is I've been snacking too much. So I need to figure out how I want to address that. Might be just as simple as, you know... Why did I say you know without following up? Might be just as simple as, I don't know, just eating more fruit. I can't say fruit without thinking of that one Kirsch stream. Where's the fucking money, fruit? Okay, that's not going to work either. Okay. Well, thrusters are going to take a minute. Don't ever get sterling fat. Oh, I won't. The big thing is just trying to, because I am getting older, trying not to like injure myself, you know. But I do want to start exercising again. I actually have my my resistance bands over there on the door. Best thing I can recommend is chop up onions, yellow green zucchini, tomatoes, radishes, and spinach. Toss 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Get a hold of chipotle and beef bouillon. Sounds pretty good, actually. But the big thing that I'm going to do this week, at least what's on my plan for the meals. Now, I haven't run out of groceries yet, so I don't need to order anything. But what I plan on getting is... let me read this. Stuff for fried rice. Chicken breasts that I'm going to cut into chicken strips. And then a couple of pounds of flat iron steak. And the steak I will eat with green beans. So yeah. And the way I love to make chicken strips is I like to marinate them in buttermilk for up to 48 hours. And then toss them in a little bit of flour. Not a lot, but a little bit of seasoned flour. Just one coating. So not super thick breading. Because the less breading you have, the less calories you're putting in your system. And then just fry them up in, you know, some oil, and you're good. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's prime the reds first. But yeah, chicken strips are probably one of my favorite dishes to make. Fried rice, as of late, has been my go-to. Because it is, My brain completely farted on me. So you can tell I'm not feeling super good. My brain just kind of bleh. Fried rice. Fried rice is sort of my go-to meal of, I don't want to cook for the next 2 days, so I will cook that up, a big old batch of it, and then eat it over the course of a couple of days, so that way I don't have to constantly be on the stove when I don't want to be. Yeah, I love fried rice, man. Ugh, excuse me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime these, and we're going to call it, because I know Lolly is going to be getting online here in a minute, and I'll probably send you guys over to him, and then I'm going to go lay down and eat something, and then see if that makes me feel better. But first, let's get this out of the way. I genuinely think that I probably just have made the mistake that I usually tend to make, where I just forget to eat, and it makes me lightheaded. I did that a lot in college, too. That is one thing I miss about having a significant other. Is she would call me in my room. She'd be like, "Are you coming to dinner at the cafeteria?" And I'd be like, "Nah, not really." And she goes, "Why not?" And I would usually say, "I feel kind of lightheaded." And she goes, "Have you eaten today?" I'm like, "Shit, no, I haven't. I've been busy working. You know, working on schoolwork all day." And she'll go, "Meet me at the back door of the dorm in about 15 minutes. I will knock on your window so you know I'm there." Sure enough, she would show up with a cheeseburger and fries, and she'd be like, "Eat." It was never a good cheeseburger and fries because our cafeteria sucked. But protein is protein. Now I get it, Gunny. Sometimes you gotta take those days, man. You gotta take those days to rest. The one thing I forgot to go into detail about, the thing going on this Friday is I have an interview to possibly pick up some part-time work. Working at a restaurant. Just a couple days a week, you know, get some extra cash coming in. Because that will allow me to fulfill American Monsters really easily, and then on top of that, I'll be able to restart production on 3 nights as well. So, but yeah, having that extra scratch lying around will definitely be good. Because YouTube is getting better, but even with YouTube getting better, as of right now, I do need extra scratch coming in to make up for the money that was lost. Once I do that, maybe I'll be able to take it easy in the future, but what is your favorite fruit and why is it bananas? Because bananas are delicious and they're easy to find. Is Englewood ready to be shipped yet? It is not. We still need to order materials. My bank is supposed to be sending me the business debit for my business account. Well, not true. Hatman is sending it because the bank sent it to him instead of me. But he's sending that to me. We're going to go ahead and order the shipping materials first and foremost because we need those very badly. Specifically the boxes. We're going to order those. And then I'm actually going to paint them live on stream. I'm going to do the airbrushing. And I have some plans on how I want to do them. And I'm thinking that if it goes well, I might continue to do that for every Englewood book going forward. Because one thing I'm thinking of doing is looking up to see if I can find a really thin nozzle for my airbrush and sign every comic, every box with the person that I'm mailing it to as their name, so that it's customized for them. What do you guys think of that? Would you like that? Alright, those are primed. We're going to read some chats real quick, and then we're going to call it. So I can get some food in me. I might order something, actually, tonight. Kind of save myself the headache. Let me look at this, Toku. Give me 1 second. I'm just putting some airbrush cleaner in my airbrush. Ugh. Okay. Sorry to annoy you for asking this. I don't think I heard your response. How come you decide to do the RE100 Nightingale when the high grade is better? 2 reasons. 1, Servant of God in the chat bought this for me. And 2 is much simpler. So, we have to do a size comparison. So let's take the shield of the Nightingale. This chair hates me, I swear to God, man. Then again, I've had it for a couple of years, you know. Just to be expected. Ugh. I'm a big fat guy, so it's gonna happen. So here's the Nightingale's shield. Pretty big, right? Here is it compared to the Tall Geese 2. Pretty big. Here's my hand. That is why I don't do high grades. That is why. That's why I do not build 1/144th scale. My hands are too damn big. Oh, goodness. So, that's the reason, you know. Sorry we didn't get a whole lot done today. I'm feeling a little under the weather. But, think the high grade's about the same size? No. The high grade is way smaller. The high grade is like, it's not very much bigger than the real grade Sazabe. Like, I've seen people like put the two next to each other. They're not that different in size. Whereas the RE100 is like totally to scale. Because the big thing, the big difference maker on the 1/100 Nightingale in comparison to the 1/144th is the tail. The tail is to scale on the RE100. It's not to scale on the high grade. They actually tone that down a bit so that it's a little bit more manageable to build. That's all good, dude. It's not like I expect everybody to know that. So yeah, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order some pizza. Or maybe Arby's. Roast beef. Somebody in the chat had mentioned getting iRound. I use iRound for roast beef sandwiches. So, but I want to get a deli slicer for that in the future because I hate thick cut roast beef. I love it thin. You know, cut it so thin it melts in my mouth. You know. But yeah. Have a look at something. Oh, they have it. They have it. They have my favorite thing. I'm going to say this right now to everyone out there. The greatest gas station pizza on planet Earth is taco pizza from Casey's. The question is whether or not I can get it for a decent price. If I can, I'm just going to order Domino's. Let me have a look here. Fingers crossed. Is it possible? Can it be done? Possibly. Possibly. But yeah, taco pizza. So here's how they make the taco pizza at Casey's, because I used to work at one when I was way younger. 420 Gunny throws in $5. Says, I've been wondering why Fairy Tail gets much hate. Power of Friendship trope is in 100 other anime. I enjoyed it for the magic fights and Celtic music. Well, that's understandable, but also I'm also assuming that there's a certain other things that, you know, sweeten the pot. But no, like what you like, dude. It's not for me. But yeah, the way that Casey's Pizza does their taco pizza is the base of it is pretty interesting. You have your normal hand-tossed pizza crust, you do all that. The sauce is not tomato sauce. It is a sauce that is half salsa, half refried beans. It's spread over the pizza alongside a mix of mozzarella and cheddar cheese, and then beef topping. Not sausage, beef. That gets thrown in the oven. When it comes out, you just add lettuce, tomato, and crumpled up Fritos chips. It is a textural nightmare, yet at the same time a textural wonderland. I fucking love it. So, let me go ahead and send you guys over to Lolly. I'm going to go ahead and take off. I think most people have already headed that way anyway. Because I think that he's live now. He should be anyway. But let me get you guys, put you in the redirect. Yep. So he's playing Metal Gear. So tell him I sent you. I'll probably be in the chat. And yeah, we will we'll have some fun over there. And we'll be back Thursday. And we'll probably go a lot longer. So have yourselves a great evening, guys. I will catch you next time.